Hi there, my name's John, welcome to the gun shop, and let me introduce you to a personal favourite of mine, the Merkel K3 Extrem. Some guns take a bit of explaining and a bit of information for me to fall in love with them, need to sit on the rack and take some development. This is very much more of a love at first sight gun. So, before we get into it, let's explain the basic concept and why I like it so much. The basic concept, this is a mountain rifle. A 600 metre accurate rifle that weighs in at, 2.3 kilograms. And yet, still looks classic, classy, and, dare I say it, just a little bit sexy. You'll find most lightweight guns now, most mountain rifles seem to be polycarbonate this or carbon fibre that. Carbon fibre wrap barrels, it's all a bit unnecessary, and in my opinion, not half as beautiful as this. So, without further ado, let's have a good look over it. So, at the back you have a Wegu recoil pad, a little bit Pachmeyer-esque, in fact it is really very soft, very, very nice. Moving on, the stock has the optional, well not optional, they're optional to take them off, sling studs fitted. You can have them taken off as an option, but you have to specify that for the factory. Don't know why you would though. You have grade 3, grade 4 wood. However, it's German grade 4, but I'd call it just normal grade 3. As we've discussed in previous videos, German grades are slightly different to the rest of the world. Option in left hand, although the right hand has this very high cheek piece and the beautiful hogback style stock. Beautiful, very Bavarian in style. You have the grip cap, reduced weight, I believe it is a polycarbonate grip cap. You have the cocking lever / safety. Top lever is black, and I've got sort of, probably the only thing I don't like about this gun, the cheap rolled engraving. It just doesn't go with the rest of the gun if you ask me. You have the mounts ready for the Merkel swing-off clip-on mounts. Their very own design, which is delightful. However, they are delightfully expensive, but totally worth it because they have guaranteed back to zero. The Extrem comes with just a plain black action. The Extrem, I should point out here, is an alloy action gun. The guns weigh in, I believe, at somewhere between 2.3 and 2.5 kilograms, dependent on the weight of the woodwork, and they have an alloy action. The way these work, which we'll discuss in a minute, is they have a tilting Jaeger block. You still get the steel-on-steel locking, which is really what you look for to guarantee the accuracy. The Merkel K4, this one's slightly bigger brother, comes with a steel action. It also comes with an extra 350 grams worth of weight. Certainly just worth mentioning. The dimensions on this stock come in at 14 1/4, which is nice and keeps the whole rifle very compact at less than 3.25 inches. Or about 92 centimeters or something. The trigger is got a little adjuster on the side here, so you have 3 trigger settings, 1, 2 and 3, and I believe they vary all the way from about £3 to £1.5 pounds. And the trigger is a very, very crisp break. Top lever opening, as we've discussed, and the trigger is non-adjustable in position. Basic scroll work on the sides, Merkel on the bottom, and the hinge pins are put in with just slight engraving there to make them look a little less like screw heads. The barrel is a 20-inch fluted barrel, and it comes, in this country at least, threaded in a 15x1. Very German, although open sight barrels back with Batu sights are available. I also believe they do a 22-inch barrel as an option, but I think maybe only on the Stutzen. However, like I say, the barrels are fully interchangeable, so you can also change the fore ends to match, which is quite pleasant. The fore end pops off by just a standard push lever style fore end, a little stiff, pops off just like that. And then top lever is pushed across and the barrels swing off. It's that easy to change barrels, and as long as the actual parent case is almost the same, this same Jaeger breech block in the back here will work. So, how this gun works. When this locking plate here falls in, this locking plate on the back clips back, locks into that lug there locks into this hole on the bottom here, and that is how you get your lock up, which is pretty much ideal. How you can guarantee the accuracy, unlike a lot of other cheap single shots that just work like an open and closed shotgun. You're not going to get the consistency of headspace, you're not going to get the longevity that you might get out of something like this. And so it's how they guarantee the accuracy out to the sort of distances an alpine rifle is needed at. Overall, let's say, an absolutely beautiful gun. Perhaps not the most practical thing in the world if you're going to shoot a lot of fallow, but you know, we don't care about that actually because remove that. We'll talk about the actual usability in a minute. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And I will remind you of how gorgeous it is every second because I am totally in love with it. In fact, anyone who has used it has generally been totally in love with it. I've shot one of these in 308 and it genuinely was impassioning. On that note, calibers that they do. I'm afraid I'm about to grab a list because there is so many. 243, 6.5 by 54R, 6.5 by 65R, 270 Win, 7 by 57R. Which this one is in, 7 by 65R, 300 Win Mag, 308, 3006, 30R Blaser, 7mm Rem Mag, 8 by 57 IRS and 9.3 by 74R. Pretty much every caliber you could ever want. You'll notice a lot of rimmed cartridges there. That's because obviously with the extractor there being an extractor, a rimmed shell does work a little better. They do have a special extractor for rimless cases, namely the 308 and the 3006. And actually, having shot the 308, it wasn't that much of a disadvantage. However, if you're after a special gun, it is kind of nice to have it in a slightly special caliber, I think. You will have also noticed there's some really bloody big bullets on there. 3006 is big enough, 270 also big enough. Did I say 270? They do it in 270, yes, 270, 3006, 300 Win Mag, 7mm Rem Mag. All of these calibers probably would require slightly more than a 20-inch barrel. So, there's a limitation there. They do a 22-inch barrel, like I say, but in this particular model, in the 20-inch, you're going to get a lot of muzzle flash, a lot of powder burn, you're going to burn out moderators that are on there. So perhaps limiting yourself to a slightly more reasonable caliber is intelligent. Not only that, this gun weighs 2.3 kilograms, 5 pounds, pretty much. It's going to kick a lot in a bigger caliber. And I know that you're not going to shoot it a great deal, given that it's a single shot, and also you're not going to take it to the range and hammer hundreds of rounds through it. However, to attain accuracy, you don't want to be scared of pulling the trigger, which you might be if you had this tiny rifle in a 7mm Rem Mag or a 300 Win Mag. Jesus. 3006 is tameable, I suppose, but in those big calibers, but not having shot one, I wouldn't know. However, if you're going to have a light rifle for mountain stalking, you might as well have one. As I said, I think 7x57R is 400 yard capable, quite happily. I know I'm not 400 yard capable, so I think that's something. Custom options. Being a Merkel, you can order this with an awful lot of custom options. Namely, in the Steel Action K4, colour hardening, case colour hardening. On either action, custom engraving. Multiple barrels, obviously an option. They do a beautiful case. Obviously the case is 20 inches long. If you pop that off, you notice this thing, let me go grab a shotgun case I have here. It's a standard 28-inch barrel shotgun case. This gun will fit in something the size of a briefcase. You know, I think it's quite square because there's a hole for your scope and there's a hole for your sound moderator. I mean, I love the idea that you can take a rifle in something no bigger than a laptop bag. It's nice, it's discreet, and that's beautiful. So, custom cases, custom grades of wood, all the way up to grade German 8. custom stock dimensions. As I said, it's only a 14¼ inch stock, and I think that's my only problem with it, is although it is beautifully compact, it is a little too compact for myself. I wouldn't mind something with a little bit more length on the back perhaps, and I know a lot of rifle shooters would be the same, certainly if you're going to put a larger optic on there. However, the short stock allows you to mount your optic further forward, which allows for ease of loading. What other options do they offer? Oval, gold oval with your initials in it, that's quite good. They will custom thread it for you, different fore ends, pretty much anything you could ever want, as long as it's based around this same locking mechanism and action design. Safety. Like all of these sort of German models, this decocks it here. So when you push the safety off, although it is a little stiff, you're actually cocking the rifle. So when you just push it forward and release it back, that is decocking the gun. So you now have a perfectly safe rifle. You pull this trigger all you want. There's about 0.001% chance that if you drop this, it's going to be hard enough to set that hammer back and then set it off again. This is a safe gun. When you're ready and you're lined up on your chamois at 320 yards, you push that off and you pull the trigger. Limitations. There's obviously limitations, right? This is a single shot rifle. Good practice would dictate that you reload as soon as you've shot and so on and so forth, and that actually perhaps the ability to rack a bolt and have your rifle back on target is a more efficient method. Agreed. But imagine trying to make that one shot count, not being quite so blasé by pulling the trigger and smacking another round in just in case. I know there's a lot of variables out there that you cannot sort of comprehend, however, you can do a damn good job if you pay more attention. This rifle is going to force you to do that. Its simplicity is also what makes it absolutely delightful. Also, by the way, you can reload these pretty bloody fast. If you go bang, shell out, it's probably about as long as it takes to rack a bolt, won't be a little longer, to rack a bolt, get back on target, and also assess the situation. You know, whilst you're doing this, which you can do blind, because everyone can reload a shotgun blind, so why wouldn't you be able to do this? You can get wrist holders to put bullets in, by the way, that's quite smart. They also do a custom shell holder for the Merkel K3 stocks, which is quite nice. You're also watching that animal, and if it did drop to the shot, you're watching it with your eyes, not through the scope. You can see whether it gets back up again. If it is wounded, you can watch it go off, and you might be able to see where it's hit, if it's limping or something like that. So actually, whilst you're doing that, the chances of you assessing the situation fast enough to go is that. If you're shooting a lot of fallow, it's probably not a rifle for you. You know, certainly if you're culling, you don't want a single shot rifle. The ability to bump into a herd of fallow and shoot 5 or 6 is a wonderful thing. This rifle is for your enjoyment. This is a pleasurable gun. And I think that's what speaks to me most about it, is its utilitarianism is minimal. You know, you're not looking at something like a K3 synthetic stainless, literally the most practical rifle in the world. A Hauer, Cerakote with a Hogue stock, very, very practical. This is, for all of its beauty, completely impractical. And that's kind of what's nice about it, I think. It's a stalker's rifle, not a deer manager's rifle. Either way, get your hands on one, go and shoot one. I love it, I'm sure you will too. I've not met a person who's picked this up who didn't instantly fall in love with it and then wonder how they were going to go and find the £3,500 that this gun costs to purchase it. Yeah, and that's enough said for me. Let me know your thoughts. You can't go wrong really, can you? It's lovely. I say, this little trigger adjuster, everything about it. I say, second conclusion, it's still really lovely. Try one, see what you think. I say, even if you put a small scope and a small moderator on there, you're still in for probably less than £6. Can't go wrong, can you? Certainly if you're going stalking somewhere where you're going to do a lot of walking and you're as unfit as I am. Thank you very much for watching. As always, take care. Enjoy. Goodbye.